Hello, good evening, good day. And how are we all this afternoon? It's Thfc Till I Die, your home at Tottenham, past, present, and hopefully an exciting future with plenty of cup wins, plenty of wins under Ange Postecoglou, and who knows, we might actually win a cup or two. Joining me on this Newsbeat is my usual co-host, Mr. Philip Brady, the man who really is, in the bingo word, he's like the Tom Jones of the bingo word, and he does that. He chucks his medallion around, and he just I don't know how the 70-year-olds keep their hands off him. But how are you this afternoon, sir?
I'll be chucking a medallion at you soon. You keep bringing that up. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm just waiting for this first Spurs transfer of the season to come over the line, and let's get our goalkeeper sorted.
Yeah, that's so true, Philip. Well, look, should we actually start with that before we go into anything? We did break it first this morning that Tottenham and Empoli are prepared to complete Jan. I'm going to really kill his name.
Guglielmo.
All right. Do you want to pronounce it?
Guglielmo Vicario. Geez, it's a commentator's nightmare, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
The official.
Yeah, go on, Philip. Sorry.
Official bid is expected to be accepted in the next few hours. It could actually happen today with a bit of luck.
Yeah, well, I can give you a bit more. There's not up there yet, but they're looking around a 90 million euro from that's the price. Now, he is on his way now. The very latest I've got, Philip, he is on his way on a jet to London at this present time. So he's flying into...
They'll probably put him on a Ryanair.
They probably too. And also, another bit of breaking news as well. Tottenham Hotspur are understood to make an offer in the region of 12 million euro to Torino over the sale of the centre-back Alessandro
Buongiorno.
Yeah,
so that is next season.
We're just gonna have come up with plenty of nicknames for them, Philip. But that is the
he's
latest.
He's going to be called Bungie. I guarantee it when he gets here.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. Anyway, let's see who's in the chat this afternoon. We've got Big Up Mia. She says, "Big up, smash the damn like button." Carl Simpson. Good afternoon, guys. Hello, everyone in the chat. We've got Mick Look. Good afternoon, Jack and Dave. Well, who's Dave and who's Jack?
Yeah. Wrong channel, mate.
Wrong channel, but anyway, well, I might as well change your names by default, be called Dave and Jack. What do you reckon? Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. We've got Hard God 10. Good afternoon, Carl and Mir. We've got DJ Green Alert. Afternoon, all. Big up, DJ. We have got who else we got in? We've got Ellie, big up in all the chat, diehard followers, and we appreciate you all. Yes, we do. We've got Drula, big up Drula. We've got Wayne Bonner. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing in this weather? Have Spurs signed 17 players yet? Well, Spurs could be on the verge of signing 2 players by the end of the week. So by the end of tomorrow, we could have 2 players in the door, Philip, which will be very nicely indeed. We've got Wilton McDonald. Nice to see you. Nice. Who said that? Was that Bruce Forsyth?
Yeah, Bruce Forsyth.
Big Tottenham fan as well, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
As was Trevor from Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, he was as well. And who else was? Peter Cook. Yeah. The only man to miss 9 goals by going to the toilet 9 times and Tottenham scoring 9 times.
That's right. He had a kidney infection that day.
Yeah. Understood, Lord God. We've got FTSN Colin. Big up, Colin. Colin, we'll get you on actually to a podcast again very soon. It was great having you on the last time. We've got Kate in. Big up, Kate. Great to see you. We've got Wembley 1. Afternoon, good people. Just 10 days till Ange takes over this tire fire of a club. The poor guy has no idea what he's left him in for. Levy out, Enoch out. Ooh, we see what happens. Who else is in? We've got Jim as well. Big up, Jim. Kate's better half. She's saying afternoon, Dermot Philip. Big up. We've got Chad's Fusion. I call him Google.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Google. Yeah,
Google. That's it. We've got Rob Belcher. Hi, Auntie Ellie, and all in the chat. Who else is in? We've got Peter M. Big up, Peter M. We've got Dara in. He's meant to be an immense defender. The Trino lad, he is. We've got Spurs Ninja. Big up, guys. We've got a lot of new faces in, haven't we, Philip?
Good
we've got Paul Brown. Big up, Brown. Afternoon all. Reactivity. Well, hopefully. And yeah, that's it. So that's everyone in the chat. And we've got Adrian Char with the €2 super chat. Thank you so much, Adrian. It really means a lot to us. And it says, I'm just glad we've got a new keeper in, even he's not Rhea. Well, that's very, very true, isn't it? So should we start
Yeah.
at that bit of news with that goalkeeper first? But big up Adrian Char. Anything you want to say to Adrian Char?
Well, thanks for the super chat, Adrian. Yeah, and it looks like our keeper is coming in. Do you know what I like about this? This is showing a bit of a new initiative for Tottenham in the transfer market. We've been linked with David Raya for how long? A month, 6 weeks, right? And now suddenly we weren't just relying on him; we were doing work in the background just in case. And now this is the alternative to Raya, and I'd like to see that. And also, with those defenders that have been mentioned, they're not names you would have heard mentioned with Tottenham this time last season.
No.
But we're doing the Brighton on it. We're picking up players now at reasonable prices that will do a job for us.
Yeah. Do you think that's more of a Scott? Do you think that's more of Paratici, what he's left behind, or do you think it's more Scott Munn's influence that's coming in?
It's a bit of a legacy, really, from Paratici, I think, and it's been carried on. Of course, Scott Munn officially isn't working for the club yet, so I don't know who's actually doing this work, but whoever it is, keep it up.
Well, I think Paratici is advising. I think he's still he can work as an advisor, but not as a thing. Just another bit of news as well, Philip. Before we go in, the groups, the under-21s groups for the EFL Trophy was announced today. They're in Group D, and where they will play Peterborough United and Colchester United and Tottenham's under-21. So that is Group D in the southern part of the EFL Trophy. And also, Ange Postecoglou giving 2 new signings as Tottenham finally profit from 85 million transfer move. They are Bissouma and Richarlison. Do you think there are like 2 new signings for that he can start with this season, Philip? Them two, if they click into gear.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Certainly, we didn't see the best of Kulichevsky last season for one reason or another, his injury and whatever. Anyway,
wrong county this season as well, by the way.
Must be train of thought now. I mean, it will be like a new signing, because when the new manager comes in, it's a new start for everybody. It's not just it's including Harry Kane. It's a new start for everybody. You've got to impress the new man. You might have impressed the old guy. Doesn't mean to say you're going to do it with the new fella. So everyone, best foot forward now, and let's have a good pre-season and hit the ground running.
That's what did, and I think you're right. I think you're right on that, Philip, because if you look at, I think Richarlison, I love his enthusiasm. I love his attitude. I love his, if there's a fight or he's always there to stand up for his teammate. And you had the Flair thing, didn't you? When he was at Everton, shocked the Flair back into the crowd, and he's always there to whip everyone off. I love him. I think we paid too much money for him, to be fair. I think he was overpaid. But look, as I said, he was always a big fish in the small pool at Everton. Now he's a small fish in the big pool at Tottenham. So maybe it's going to take him a season or 2. Now, Philip, we have some breaking news, and this is part of what we were going to talk about today. So we might as well start on the first bit of conversations you put down, Philip, and that is what is happening with Maddison. Well, I can give you the very, very lates on that. Newcastle are facing issues with Maddison due to FFP restrictions.
Yes.
And transfer, once talks have finished, will move quickly. So that's what I'm hearing. Once the talks with Maddison, I think to Spurs. I think that's Spurs. Let me just double check. But what do you say to that bit of news, Dev?
I did see during the week, this just shows you what TalkSport are like. There was a picture of Maddison playing pool with Callum Wilson at the England training camp, and they immediately took it that Maddison was going to Newcastle. Now, if he'd been pictured with, let me see, who am I talking about? The tea lady. Does that mean he's going to give up football and take dispensing cups of tea? It's just unbelievable. Maddison's girlfriend wants to go to London because she doesn't want to go north. Well, hopefully that's going to have the swinging effect on us.
Yeah. And look, for me, I'm just asking if that's Spurs. I'm waiting to hear back from that. But look, Newcastle.
That's interesting. That's interesting. This is where the Saudi Arabian money might come back and bite them in the ass now.
What do you say about that, Philip? I mean, look, we've talked about FFP, haven't we, till it's blue in the face? But look,
excuse me one sec. I'll come back in a sec.
That's Daniel Levy ringing up Philip now to see will he work for the club and get this deal over the line. There's a few more comments in. We've got Carl Simpson. I agree with you, not overpaying for Rhea, but in regards to Maddison, we pay what we need to get him out of Leicester. Exactly. 60 million, Drula says, from Maddison. Will they pay that? Look, if we want him, we'll pay for him. We've got Darren says Gab is the guy behind the signings. He's supposedly working direct with Angie, his former Udinese and He's a former Udinese and Watford scout. Okay, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Newcastle are really struggling at the moment. Don't rule them out though of the transfer swamp. But I would say Spurs are 1-0 up in the 80th minute in regards of the transfer. So really, we're into the last 10 minutes of this. If it's a football game, where we could be on the verge of getting 3 signing in basically before the end of next week, which would be absolutely brilliant. We've got Carl Simpson. Newcastle are about to pay 70 million for Tonanelli. It's a big amount. It is. And Newcastle were always going to spend big this summer. Always. You know, they've got the money behind them. And really, you've got to... We've got to match these guys now. We've got to get these players in, get them in early, get them in before preseason starts, get them in before Edge starts, and let's get working on them. But let me know what you think on that. Look, I think it's something Philip said to me behind the scenes before we went live, that look, we seem to be doing it right this summer. We're not just sticking to one player. We have a few players for fingers and pies, and maybe that's a bit of a legacy to Paratici, how he done his transfer network and have plates spinning all over the place. So look, we have to see what happens. We've got Wembley once said Levy only plan for the football club is to hope that sometime in the future FFP might pull the club seriously interested in company for silverware down to our level. That's basically it. I don't actually agree with that. I really don't agree with that. Look, teams will find a way around FFP. Chelsea are doing it, signing 8 to 7 or 8 years contracts. And that's how you're going to get around it. So, we have to wait and see. We've got DJ Green and Light says, I read Ange was on the budget of 100 million for summer transfers. If that's true, can we afford Maddison? Well, look, I think it was around 150 million I was hearing of a summer transfer window, plus what we raised from transfers. So we have to wait and actually see what happened. Colin was saying, I wonder if the Tonanelli price, which is 70 million, Philip, is why they're close to the FFP limit. Now,
yeah.
Philip, look, we all know the likes of Chelsea have got players on 7-8 year contracts. We know they're backed by Saudi Arabia teams. We know the Qataris could be buying Manchester United. We know Newcastle are owned by Saudi. Is it Saudi Arabian?
Saudi Arabia, yeah.
Now, let me get this right. Is the Chelsea, are they partly owned by Saudi Arabia, or are they one of the investors?
Officially,
or is Newcastle Newcastle owned by the Saudi royal family? Could you explain to people how it works?
Newcastle are owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which is basically the Saudi royal family, right? But what that same investment fund has been doing, they've actually invested millions into Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
What Clear Lake Investments. So that while they're not technically owning the club, they're certainly investing in it. Now, I don't know what the legalities of that are. I thought you could only own one club or a percentage of one club. And this is why Chelsea are offloading all their players to Saudi Arabia for ridiculous prices, making their FFP look good because they have money coming in for these players, right? Newcastle, being only a one-season wonder with Saudi, wouldn't have the I presume they work on the figures of a couple of seasons ago. We wouldn't have had the income before the Saudis took over. That's probably why they're getting caught up with it now. But the more the merrier. The more clubs that get pulled in by FFP, the better, because they're obviously flouting the rules, and they should get caught, if they get caught, they should be punished. And it'd be marvelous if we got Madison because of that.
Yeah, but Wembley here says, where is it? I'll bring that comment up again. He says Levy, and it's a very good point he made. I don't really agree with it, but maybe you do, Philip. So, look, let's see what you think of it. He says Levy's only plan for football club is to hope that sometime in the future FFP might pull that the club seriously interested in competing with Sevilla down to our level. That's basically is it. Do you agree with that? I don't really agree with it, but do you agree with it?
I don't really think you can really, that it's a bit of it's a pie in the sky notion. It could well be true, because I mean, if you see, you don't know what chairman here in these talks amongst themselves. They know which clubs are going to be pulled in by FFP or not. So, and to me, there are a number of clubs that are on the borderline. Chelsea, especially, Newcastle now appear to go in. Manchester City don't care about it. Liverpool possibly, and Man United. So they're all clubs in or around our looking for our position, or we're looking for their position in the league. So maybe if it comes to play that FFP is implemented the way it should be, then we will move up the pecking order, because other teams will not be able to buy players. And that is the one good thing about a soundly financially run club, is you're not going to get into trouble with FFP.
No, but on the flip side of that, Philip, it doesn't look like we're buying anyone. Do you know what I mean? You can play safe, but you're not going for it.
We're not spending 80 and 90 million on players. No. Neither can we expect to be afford to do that. But like, we're getting the goalie for 20 million. We're probably getting the defender for 17 or 18 million. I mean, if they turn out like the players Brighton bought for the same money last season, then I'd be more than happy. I mean, how often have we bought a big name that hasn't? Richarlison, for example, you pay 60 million for a player and he scores one league goal. That's not a return on the investment. That's pretty poor. Now that makes a difference next season.
Yeah. So big up here to Knob One UAK one. I think we'll call you Nobby, if that's all right. We're going to call you Nobby. It says Simon Jordan claimed that Levy told we are not interested in Madison. Well, I know what you're going to say, Philip, so I'll let you say it.
It's Simon Jordan. That's what I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's my case.
Yeah, and we've got Green Light said, don't know about the polo horse, but we'll have F1 go-kart. Oh, yeah. Ellie says, was that your polo team on your blower, Philip? Or as your shirt is very polo-like, all you need is a horse and a polo stick.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, it is a polo shirt, actually. Yeah, it was not that I play polo or anything, but yeah.
No, you never know. And we've got Peter Rems saying, using separate legal entries to cover up the actual ownership of a club is something the authorities need to look at to determine ultimate ownership, to see if the single owner rule has been breached. Now, have we gone? Yeah, but Philip, has the barn doors been opened and the horse bolted already? If you know what I mean. Is it a little too late now to start looking at this, where they should have looked at it before the horse bolted the barn? If you get it.
Well, they looked at it before, and they looked at it before Manchester City, and they got a conviction, which was overturned on appeal. Right? They've now got Manchester City again facing another 115 charges. So the authorities are doing something about it now. Whether they're doing enough, they're probably not doing enough. But I suggest they have a very, very close look at Chelsea's books now to see how much the PIF Saudi fund has put into Chelsea compared to what Todd Bowley put in. And I guarantee you there's probably not much, which leads me to ask, who are the ultimate owners of that club? I mean, if Todd Bowley put 100 million in and the Saudis put in 90 million, surely that makes them nearly equal owners.
Yeah.
If you get my drift. They're probably hiding behind the fact that they're investors and the name isn't on the deeds, if you like. But they're hiding behind some legal loophole that they're not classed as owners, even though they put as much money in as the owners have. That's my reading on it anyway, but we shall see.
Yeah. Well, look, we just have to wait and see. We've got Tot Spurs here again. He says, I think PI media are being used by the club to try to drive down prices. Maybe so. Hot God 10 says, doesn't Alex Scott fit Levy's profile for promising young talented players for Spurs?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, Keith Edwards says, but if no action is taken against the clubs flouting FFP, what is the point? And that is the point, Philip.
Exactly. Somebody has to be made an example of. Somebody has to be hung out to dry on this to stop other clubs doing it.
We know Manchester City were charged with 115 breaches of FFP between them winning their first Premier League title up to, I think, last season, right? So there's 115 different charges. Yeah. It's gone away to an independent panel, which will probably release their findings in 6 months' time. We're within the 6 months of them releasing their findings. So what if they are found guilty? What should happen? What should their punishment? Their punishment should range from stripping them of titles and fining them very heavily, or relegating them. Would that send out a proper? Do you know, if you are going to do this, this is what's going to happen if you seriously flout the rules?
Fining them is absolutely useless, because you're fining them something they've got plenty of, and that doesn't hurt. What you do is you either, as you say, strip them of a title, which would be very hard to do legally, okay? But what you can do is deduct them points, right, in their own particular league, and probably the biggest punishment of them all, ban them from Europe for a number of seasons. That would hurt, and that would mean they wouldn't do it again.
Please don't strip them of last season's title. No.
I don't think that's what we're going to. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Please, yeah, we'll let them have last season title as a little bit of a. And same thing. Rangers got thrown down a couple of divisions because of that up in Scotland, and they got thrown down to the lower leagues of the Scottish pyramid system.
The Scottish FA showed the balls really to do that.
Yeah,
and they did.
They did. Peter Rem says FFP has to be real. Otherwise, we might as well stop watching, since the outcome of the league is already sewn up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. What else? We've got Column saying the new laws that were passed by the clubs in the Prem and the FA doesn't allow this to happen anymore. Any club that's expected will be investigated and dealt with accordingly. Well, if they have, then how come, Philip, they haven't looked into Chelsea? How come an investigation that haven't come out and said, right, we're going to investigate Chelsea and their ownership model?
I'd say Chelsea, that could be coming down the tracks, because Chelsea's ownership is in there less than a season at the moment, around a season. And the Saudi Arabian thing is probably even more recent than that. So
does it have something to do with Abramovich as well, how he sold the club? Because that was never really explained properly how that was dealt with either, because of the whole Ukraine thing. Is he still in the background?
I don't know. He did promise to give the sale proceeds that he received from Chelsea to rebuilding Ukraine, but that money's never been passed on. He never did. So you don't know. It could well be. You know? But just on a funny aside on the Saudi Arabian thing, I don't know if anybody saw it. After Jack Grealish was on the tear after the Champions League win, somebody put up a note. Saudi Arabian club Al Kohal have made a bid for Jack Grealish.
Right. I've got a bit of news here about the Chelsea thing, and what I've been told is the Premier League authorities are happy with the Chelsea ownership.
Well,
so where does that leave everyone?
That could be started. If they're happy with the same firm that owns Newcastle been heavily involved in another Premiership club, that's not right. Surely,
if I'm right in saying they're only a control, they're only a certain percentage of the club, and they can invest. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. They put so many millions in. I would like to know what the actual percentage is.
Ellie says the Scottish League played hardball the way our league is run. Can lean out Mayor in charge. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got DJ Green Alert saying cough cough bribe.
Yeah.
Sorry, got this bit of a cough here. Got to say, question to Dermot and Philip. Would you say Levy is a great chairman? Right, I'm going to let you go first on this, Philip, because I've got to think of my answer carefully on this. Because I
No,
don't want
he's
to.
not. Listen, he's a good businessman, right? Who does what he thinks is best for the club and Enoch and his investors, right? Now, that may well, the guys that he's making money for, the people that have invested money in Enoch over the years, are probably getting a very good return on his money. And that's probably thinking Daniel Levy is a great businessman. When it comes to being a great chairman with Tottenham, no, he's not. He's done some very good things, the stadium, the training ground, and he's done some very stupid things, firing managers 5 days before a cup final and various other mistakes that he's made over the years. So, no, to be a great chairman, you have to be pretty much flawless. He's definitely not that. But he's a good businessman, but not a great chairman.
For me, he's made a lot of bad mistakes over the years. He really does, including firing Martin Yole at half time, finding Jose Mourinho 5 days or 6 days before cup final, not backing Poch when we needed backing after a Champions League final. But you can just say the stadium is something to behold. We've got the best training facilities in Europe. The business side of it, yeah, he's a great businessman, but he's not a great football chairman. I would rather have Alan Sugar in charge of the club than Daniel Levy. At least Alan Sugar put his own money into the club. Do you know what I mean? And he did save us as well with Terry Venables, but I would rather Alan Sugar than Daniel Levy as chairman, and that says a lot. Off the field, you're right, Philip. He must be an investor's dream. He really must be an investor's dream. But on the football side, he's failed miserably. If he was just being judged by football side, Philip, he should have been sacked years ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I hope that's answered your question, John Fitzpatrick. Big up, John, at my Irish brother. I hope you're doing well, sir, and I hope you're keeping well. Kate says the whole point of starving the club of funds, writing off 22 seasons and bulldozing down White Hart Lane, what was so we wouldn't have to go to the cheaper and turn to players. That was the whole point, and that is a very good point, Philip. That was the whole point.
It was. So somewhere in translation, things got lost a wee bit.
Yeah.
If we put it, obviously, you think you've got to. First of all, we're the best training center, right? Then we got the best ground. The natural progression is you go and get the best team. We haven't, and that's where the failure is.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so true. Big up, Ryan. It says, "Hi, hey, Dermo. How's you? Just come out of hospital. Well, I hope you're feeling all right, man. I hope you're feeling better, and I hope everything is okay. And we'll see you soon. But great for coming in. Thank you very much for coming in. A lot of people, Jim says, Levy's a great chairman, making the club stable, making us financially secure, but stupid decisions on the football side. I can sort of see where he's coming from on that, Philip, to be fair.
Yeah, he's kind of saying he's great on one hand, but he's not so great on the other. So when you mix the two together, it becomes slightly less than great.
Yeah.
Good fair to Midland would probably be the best way of putting it.
Yeah, maybe so. We've got Stuart Austin in it, make the Glazers look like the best owners in football. I love that. That's actually
I agree with that now somehow.
Yeah. DJ Green says, unofficial, off the record though, Wayne, you might get a different answer. What did Wayne ask? Where's Wayne? What did Wayne ask? Did someone say envelope under the table? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Peter Rem says here, the fact that so many Chelsea players are off to Saudi already is giving Chelsea an advantage, as they have drained for the deadwood to go down.
And they're getting income. They're getting that goes down as income received from selling players. I mean, they're getting some ridiculous figures.
Yeah. Keith says, if anyone owns 51% of a company or club, they are seen as the owners. We've got FT Column saying Todd must have put 60% of money into the clubs as he is named owner of the club. If the investment they're receiving is paying more than what Todd is, then they are breaking FA rules. I would love to know. I would love to know the pie of Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah.
What the percentages are, who owns what percentage out of that? Because there was a few people in that. Stuart says no other club fans will want Levy or Donna Marie running their club. Enoch are the worst owners in football. Let's see what else there. Yeah. So, what do you reckon? If this is how Hodgson says Levy said the stadium will go straight into the transfer key for first team. Where's the money?
Yeah, he said that on the BT documentary a couple of months ago. And since then we've had was it Lady Gaga, or was it Beyonce? Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
With all these American football games coming in October as well. So, yeah, I'd love to see where that money is. The proof of the pudding there is going to be this summer, whether we have a rather large transfer kitty or we're scraping behind the couch looking for a few bob to buy a player.
Yeah. DJ Green says we've had some dodgy dealers over the years. Venables, Redknapp. I know there were a few others, but they elude me. What Scholar was one. Seriously though, if you put chairmen over the last 40 years, Philip, right, between Scholar, Sugar, and Levy, right, where would you rank them? If you could rank them into a top three, where would you rank them?
Well, I would give Alan Sugar. I know he fell out with Terry Venables and whatever very badly, but I rate Alan Sugar. And the reason I rate Alan Sugar is without Alan Sugar, there would have been one of two alternatives. Spurs would have ended up as being owned by Robert Maxwell, or B, it would have gone out of business. And probably both alternatives would mean it's going out of business. So we probably wouldn't have a club at the moment, only for Alan Sugar. So I've got to give him credit for that. I think Scholar tried. He tried to do something that hadn't been done before. He diversed outside football. He went into fashion. He went into all sorts of things. And he took a bath on us, really, And Daniel Levy, I'll give him credit for the stadium or whatever. Nothing much else apart from the training ground. So I think that of all the managers that we've had since 1990, I think Alan Sugar, not because he was a great chairman, he wasn't, but he put his money where his mouth is and saved our club, and that's good enough for me.
Carl Simpson says, "Don't worry, guys. A new sign. It says we'll be posting their shirts under the cock." Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh dear.
Dyslexia is a bitch. I'm telling you, it really is a bitch.
I think we'll have to put a thing on Carl Simpson's post. There'll be alarm bells start ringing every time he posts. Then you'll know there's something coming.
I'm being honest, right? To me, for me, that last bit of the world, right, looks like one word to me. I suffer really badly with dyslexia, and it's something I suffer really badly with. And Philip knows this, so things like this, I get really frustrated with myself when I get caught out, because Philip sees it, knows what's happening, but when I see this, I just read it out, and because of my dyslexia, it just looks all jumbled up to me. So you're a swine, Carl Simpson. You really are a swine. Right, we've got a couple of super chats here. We've got Kate here. She says, if Daniel Levy was Daniel Levy's boss, he'd sack Daniel Levy. I love this. Facts after the Super League is a position was untenable rarely. Yeah. And that's the point. That's the point, Philip. The Super League, and that hasn't gone away, by the way. That Super League is still in the background. And with the new formation of the Champions League, it's like the Super League in a sort of way anyway. Have them 6 Premier League clubs still got their fingers in that Super League pie?
I would say it's been put back on a bit of a back burner for now because they know what the reaction is going to be. But as time goes on, attitudes will change. People may become more amenable to the situation. Personally, I think it's a bad idea. I always will think it's a bad idea. But you're right, it hasn't gone away. It will rear its head again. You may be sure of that.
Yeah, I do know what. I agree with that. If Daniel Levy was Daniel Levy's boss, he would sack Daniel Levy. Daniel, sack yourself. It's like
Groucho Marx had this perfect saying. He says, I would never join the club that would have me as a member. So we're working on the same thing, you know.
And also Nathan Bassard from India, big up Nathan. He says, sorry, on the verge of signing a new goalie.
Guglielmo.
Google. We're going to call them Google.
Google Vicario.
Google thoughts. Will he be a proper Hugo replacement? We have to wait and see.
He comes highly recommended as one of the top
Yeah.
keepers in Serie A last season.
Mm.
And he's 26 years of age. He's the right age for a goalkeeper. He's half the price that we're paying for Raya.
Yeah.
And, I class it as good business. Now, okay, it's a clanger in the first game. You might have said, God, where do we get him from? But, as it looks at the moment, it's a good bit of business. I'm sure he's been scouted to death before they've actually gone and bought him,
Yeah. Please keep doing it. I actually enjoy it. Believe it or not, Carl. So keep putting it in. Please do
keep
it.
doing it, Carl. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Because I must admit, it gives Filippinelli and me a lot of laughs seeing you catching me out. So please keep doing it. And if anyone says that to you, I will defend you 100%, sir. So, I find it and I find it really great crack. Wayne Bonner says, Carl Simpson, touchy young fella, another point on the board. DJ says, considering yourself from dyslexia, I think you do very well. I try my best.
He does. He does very well. Very well.
Carl Simpson, you're a bully. It's out respect for Dermot's chat. Look, Carl, you're fine. Keep doing it, sir. It catches me out. I don't really mind. I enjoy it. It's a bit of fun. And it's also a bit of banter between you and me. See, can you catch me out? Because one day you won't. I'm telling you. Just all I would say is, Carl, change it up a little bit. Try something different. But don't cockerel. Yeah, but the cockerel cock, please keep it in because it does catch me out. But do something different so he can catch me again. But don't. Anyone calls him a bully, I time you out. Carl is not a bully. Carl is a decent young man. He liked the young man bit. Peter says, Peter Ram, I couldn't give a toss about book balance. They are dirty rats who could care about their own pockets. The only pile of debt onto the club to better profit themselves. I think it's about the Glazers.
Yeah, I think so.
To be fair.
By the way, I read today now, I don't know how accurate this is, maybe Colin can confirm this. The Glazers have told Eric Ten Hag no money to be spent on players until the ownership is sorted out. Which kind of puts them in a bit of a limbo land, doesn't it? Colin might have something to say about that.
Yeah. We've got David Lever. Good evening, by the way. Big up, David. Hope you're doing well. Jim says, I have dyslexia as well, Dom. I'm used to it. I just crack on. Yeah, you get used to it. You just, I tell you, it's a funny thing. You adjust very quickly to anything. You adjust to it very quickly. And you don't let it beat you. You try to beat it, not beat you. So, I mean, I taught myself reading, by reading history books of Ireland. So I taught myself to read, which was great. I know everything about the rebellion and everything. It's great crack. John Fitzpatrick, we will never win anything under this ownership. We are slipping further down that table. No ambition year in, year out. Now we're in. Now we are here. We are here for me. Andrew won't last the season. The EPL will eat him alive. Don't agree with that 100%. The last bit.
I think Andrew's a bit more to him than that. I think he's proved that. He went up to Celtic 2 years ago, and the Celtic fans were up in arms about it. Who the hell is this fella coming? I've never heard of him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the one saying that 3 weeks ago when he left, they were crying. They were crying in the beer.
Tottenham Forever. Ryan says, would you take Luca Romero? Would you, Philip?
Which Romeo is that now? Is that the guy that plays for... oh, God, what the hell? No, I'm thinking of a different Romero.
Yeah.
No, I just can't think of that player now at the minute.
Dermo loves a cockerel cock.
Me as that.
Bollocks. Right, moving on very quickly. If Angie's happy with the players coming in, we can't moan if it goes tits up. And that Daryl's true. That is spot on.
It's true.
Dermot, when my channel is ready, can I come on with you, please? Of course you can. We'll sort out a panel or a debate show, Kate, and when it's up, you're more than welcome to come on.
Yeah,
over it. And any help you need, just ask us, and we'll do what we can. We've got Carl says, I'm over 40 and have a mental age of 16. Well, I'm 46, have a mental age of 10. So there you go. So you wonder all that. Ellie's at it now. Cockerel dermadoo. Affect a lot of you. Seriously. ETH is losing it, apparently. I don't know who ETH is. I don't know who ETH. I don't know. Dermot, you're a super presenter and natural who makes this channel buzz. Oh, well, thank you very much. I don't think I do, personally. I've got great people around me, Philip Brady, Mia, Ellie. So it makes it easy to do this, but I'll try my best and I love doing it. It's great crack, and we have great crack doing it, don't we, Philip?
He does know, Dermot, you do a great job, honestly. You do. You do a marvellous job. So keep it up. By the way, can I have a pay rise?
Yeah, yeah. We'll have a drink. We'll have a drink and talk about it. Yeah, and give you a 90-cent pay rise. There you go. Keep you happy for a while. Yeah, okay. And you get free chicken every week as well. So there you go. You can't grumble at that. Carl, it does keep me on my toes, to be fair. We've got Column says, I'm doing in the depth report on the potential new goalkeeper. Ooh, let us know. It might come on, actually. It's like my fibro. You have to get on. Now, I know I mentioned yesterday, not a lot of people know this. I actually suffer with it very slightly myself. Not as bad as Kate does. I have a disease called DDD, which is a germ of disc disease, where my basically discs are crumbling in my back, which I have to get my back fused at the moment. I'm waiting to have an operation done on it. So I know what it's like to be in pain, Kate. I do realize what it's like. And look, and people like you and the likes of Philip, what he does as well behind the scenes as well, but I've taken people to hospitals and that. People like you are an inspiration to me. That gives me the enthusiasm to keep going every day. And the likes of Ellie's a carer. I'm a carer for my own wife as well, my own partner. And it's people like you in the chat and Philip and Ellie and Mia that actually keep me going every day. So I want to say thank you to all of you for you make this possible. You make me come on here possible. So I want to thank all you. Deserve all a clap in the back as well. But that's enough of the lovey-dovey stuff. Right, we'll stop that crap now. We'll get back to. We've got Nathan also, another super chat. Is Fabio Paratici still doing our transfers?
His influence is still there.
He can advise, but he can't do anything. I think if I'm right. Is that right, Philip?
Yeah. He can. Somebody might ask him, "Do you think we should buy this player?" And he can say yes or no, but he can't do the deal. He's got to let somebody else do that. He's an advisor, basically.
Yeah, he's an advisor. So there you go. Right, Philip, where we're going next, sir? What else have you put in? Now, this one for you, I know has got your goat completely. I'm not going to let you rant on this, but you may have a different opinion on this, to be fair. So this might get
everywhere I've gone to Manchester United openly telling Harry Kane to ask for a transfer, that he wants to come to Old Trafford. And while technically that might not be illegal, it bloody well should be. That is openly tapping up a player to break his contract or attempt to break his contract with his present club. Now, I know it's not illegal because you can't do it over a certain age or some crap like that, But Talksport and the rest are all over that this morning. Everywhere you go, Harry Kane told to put in a transfer request. It's not up to Manchester United whether Harry Kane puts in a transfer request. It's not up to Charlie Kane. It's up to Harry Kane. And I just get sick of this. If that was done to a lot of other clubs, they'd be up in arms. But Harry Kane, what I can't understand about Harry Kane is, right, he's England captain. He's a record goal scorer for England. Yet half the country bloody hates him.
Yeah.
Why is that? If he was Irish, we'd have statues up for him all over the place.
Can I just say something? See what you bloody started now. Now Ellie's at it now. See what you started. Jesus, Mary and Joseph and the wee donkey. Seriously. I bet you any money that the three wise men, right? And the little and when Mary had Joseph in the barn, I bet they never asked for a pay rise. As for the wee donkey, I want to know what happened to that wee donkey after. Seriously, it's a funny story. Years ago when I was a kid, right, I went to a midnight mass, Christmas mass, right? And they had the manger there, so it had Jesus and Mary and Joseph and the 3 wise men and and the shepherds and everything. They had the donkey. So I was only about 7 at the time, and I pulled my dad's jacket, and I said at the top of my voice, "Right, we all know what happened to everyone." My dad said, "Yeah." I said, "What happened to the wee donkey?" I said, "It gets a bit like Joseph, right? Gets mentioned once in the Bible, you never hear of him again." So to this day, I would love to know what happened to the wee donkey and Joseph after Christmas Day.
He ended up in the local Chinese restaurant.
What, the wee donkey?
Well, yeah, it's like the only episode of Only Fools and Horses when they're painting the Chinese restaurant. When they open the door, a cat runs out, and Dale says, "Well, there's number 39 gone off the menu."
Honest to God. Yeah. Honest to God.
Anyway, I'm reckon it's all crap.
Kate says hashtag pay for the donkey.
Oh dear. Yeah.
All right. The donkey went to be on the celebrity.
Oh, lovely.
Oh God, this is going to be a funny one. DJ greeted Mary and Joseph in the barn with candlesticks. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Candlestick.
I think no, he's mixing up Cluedo there. Cluedo.
Yeah, this is by far my favorite first channel.
Oh, thanks, Kate. Thanks for that.
Cheers, thank you very much. Yeah, put it in the comment. Right, what do you think happened to the donkey after Jesus?
Actually, I think Kate has the answer further on there if you put it up.
Hang on. Peter M says the wee donkey has turned into burgers once he stopped work. Wayne says a wee donkey and the cock is Levy invested into THFC.
Oh dear. Da, 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 da.
Oh God.
I think Kate has answered it. Look. We ended up in the Spurs thing.
It's been Rick Dyer all the way along. That's what happened to him.
Yeah.
We've got Nathan says Donkey Kong. Yeah, maybe he got himself a few. Then we've got Brian Maguire. The wee donkey became the Tottenham Hotspur chair.
Oh dear.
Paul Shepherd says seriously, Dermot. He says seriously, you Dermot and Philip are the 2 nicest blokes on Spurs channels. Thanks very much.
Oh, thanks very much, Paul.
Thank you very much. Here we go. The donkey got into its skies is now running the club. Nathan says it's Sanchez and Dyer. Donkey Dyer. Oh dear. Hang on. This donkey became president of DIY Barnes.
Oh dear.
Oh, Philip, you need to just take over for a minute.
Oh dear. Let's see what else we've got. Yeah, this one, Andrew Gregory saying the donkey ended up in the burger vans. He used to be outside by that lane. Oh dear. And Mia is saying we went to the island in Tokyo. And this one, this is what the Harry Kane thing. This Harry Kane uses PR spin and us trying to get a story of this and there. What's going to sell papers? Man U, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and Harry Kane.
Yeah.
We'll do it. Yeah, that's it. You know, it's
look. Look, putting that joke, and we will come back to that. I want the funniest. What happened to the wee donkey? I'll put it into the chat, and we will bring them up. So we will bring them up at the end of the show.
I'll tell you what, the winner of whoever we vote the most funny comment gets entered into the for the Emerson Royale shirt.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to start starring them now. Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I know. Don't say it yet. Now, Harry Kane and tapping up Philip. Look, I don't agree with you. I think it's happened in football since day dot. It happens in all other sports as well. I to give you the example of but surely then it should be down to the club he's playing for to give them the tools or give them the the tools that we are doing something right. If we won a couple of trophies, there'd be no mention of Harry Kane being tapped up by Man United. So, do you know what I mean? I just think, Philip. You what?
No, go on.
No, I just think it's. I agree with Colin. I think it's journalism, people making up stuff. Just trying to, maneuver somebody. So we've got Nathan here saying, serious question: how will Mauricio Pochettino return to our home as Chelsea manager?
That's
I hope he gets. No, I hope he gets booed to hell.
Yeah. Well,
I hope he gets booed to hell.
Take your point. I would reserve judgment on it. If between now and November, right, Mauricio Pochettino is, if I see him once kissing that Chelsea badge, then he's done. And I hope to hell he gets the treatment. But if he's respectful and doesn't do that, I'll give him a guarded welcome. But I hope we beat the shit out of him on the pitch.
Yeah, and also, I hope he gets booed to hell. I've got no respect from there. He's dead to me now. He done all this, Philip. I love Tottenham. Tottenham are my club. It's on. Mickey Hazard even said he's got unfinished business at Tottenham, right?
Yeah. And I still think he might be back in the future. But nobody asked him to come back this time. You can't come back if you're not asked.
Yeah, but he's not asked, Philip, because they didn't think he could do the job.
Not yet.
He did. No, Philip, he got us to how many finals? How many mistakes did he make? And he finished third in the two horse race in the league against Leicester. Let's be fair. Leicester, we should have won the league that year.
We did.
Leicester should never have won the Premier League. We should have won the league that year.
Yeah, well, Dermot, you must remember half the other teams in the country lay down for Leicester that season. When they came to play Tottenham, they played with the skin.
Yeah, FA Cup semi-final, we played Sonny left wing back.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Seriously. I'm not denying that. But
Champions League final, right? Champions League final plays an unfit Harry Kane with a player that got us there on the bench. So, do you know all this about the Messiah and Pochettino? He played great football, but he won us fuck all. He didn't get us over the line.
My view on Pochettino has been unwavering. I want to see him back at the club at some stage, not now.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm now is there are too many of the players still at the club that got rid of him the first time. And that can't happen. You can't bring him back. Well, the same players that got rid of you 4 years ago are still there.
Yeah.
So I still think he might have a future at Tottenham maybe in 5 years' time. But no.
Yeah. Right. Philip, very quickly, do you want to go through the competition for the Amazon shirt? Just very quickly.
Royale shirt. Now we have this is a brilliant prize, and we're on the second of a 4-week competition. You enter by answering the following question: who scored the equalising goal for Tottenham in the UEFA Cup final, second leg at White Hart Lane in 1984? You enter that by using a super chat of €2, $2, £2, whatever. And once your name comes in the super chat with the correct answer, or any answer really, we're not that tight really, then the name goes into the draw. And we will, pardon me, I have hay fever at them and my throat sounds a bit funny today, so it'll be better tomorrow. We will also be donating the money to at least one charity, the Irish Cancer Society, and it'll all be done under laboratory conditions, live on the stream, so everything is done above board. But get your entries in. We have a lot of entries in at the minute, and to fair duty, we have a lot of multiple entries. People have entered 4 and 5 times, so get your entry in, and you have a great chance of winning it.
Can I just say a bit of breaking news, Philip? And this is not to do with football. This is to do with the submarine. I don't know if people have been following this on the news. Debris field found in search for missing Titan sub US Coast Guard.
Oh dear, that's sad. Yeah,
that's sad.
There is going to be a shit show over that in the future because it's now a letter was sent a few years ago that warning them not to use that ship because it wasn't structurally passed for all the depths it was going to.
I know.
I feel really, really sorry for the families of the people involved.
Yeah. So just to give you up to date, the other breaking news is Tottenham are close to signing Google. The goalkeeper from Google could be the new announced for the name of the stadium, but he's close to signing, so we're all getting up to date on that. We've got Jim says the donkey assisted Graham Roberts. So Jim's in the competition. I tell you what, we'll go through all these comments here. We've got Mia saying the wee donkey. Well done, Mia. She's entered as well. Corey says, I also heard the donkey applied for the manager's job at Spurs, but they didn't meet the donkey's payment of 4.5 haystacks and 6 for payment each week. That's a good one. Yes. Wayne says, I heard the donkey got drunk on a night out and made an ass of himself. Kate says, perhaps the donkey was the main course of the Last Supper.
Yeah, it could have been.
Colin saying the donkey's perfectly fine. Well, he's currently managing the Irish international team. Do you know what? That is spot on. There you go. That's my new nickname. Yeah, that's my new nickname for Stephen Kenny, the donkey. There you go. We've got Kate saying tag none dumb donkey mystery solved. Wayne says, I heard the donkeys are running VAR.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah. DJ Green and Light says, was the donkey's name Oti then he could have had his own opera, Donkey Oti.
Oh God. Oh, that's very good. That's very good.
That is good. Didn't the donkey retire and move to 100-acre wood with Winnie the Pooh? That's a good one. The donkey is alive and well. He's Daniel Levy's advisor on transfers. Ellie says Dyer went to the wee donkey and asked him for tips how to defend. And the Sabre team says, big up the Sabre team. Great to see you in chat. Says the donkey is grazing on Levy's boat. And then we've got the donkey plays centre back when he's not attending divine births. And Gary, this is my favourite one. The donkey took the name Tony, ended up signing for Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a cracker.
Right. So who have you picked to go into that, Philip?
I think the Don Quixote one. I think that's got to be.
Yeah.
That's original.
Yeah.
It's very.
Yeah.
So I'll just get the name of the person that sent that in.
That's DJ Green Alert.
Yeah. So he's in the.
Yeah. And then we've got Nathan saying here, Kane will stay and play with Ange Ball when Madison feeding him. If he can rejuvenate Sonny and Kulu, we'll be challenging top 3. I can't disagree with that, Philip, to be fair.
Very positive attitude, Nathan. It really is. I would love to say I agree with you. Maybe I will after the first 6 or 7 matches of the season. We'll see how things are going.
Philip, I have got a bit of breaking news now. This is not 100% confirmed, by the way, so don't shoot the messenger. Let me just see what it is. And I can tell you, PSG have opened talks with Tottenham star as North London future remains unclear. Now, the person my source who gives me this says he will see if he can get this confirmed. But this is unconfirmed reports that PSG have opened talks with a Tottenham star as North London future remains unclear. Now, is this another... Well, it's not definitely Eric Dyer, is it? We've got Nathan Passard that said Graham Roberts. Big up, Nathan. Great. It says DJ. Thank you, guys. Carl Simpson's, where's my DJ one? The dog currently bent over whilst people try and pin the tail on his ass. What have we started? Seriously. So what do you reckon to that, Philip? Who do you think that? Who do you think it?
It's got to be Harry Kane. I mean, there's nobody else to be looking for. No. But again, is this another one of these? Is it a journalist making up a story? Who knows? At this stage, I'm just getting sick of the whole bloody lot of it now, to be honest. I think a lot of people.
Well, I can tell you that article is actually on To the Lane and Back. That's what that article is. And I'll read you a bit of it. According to Matteo Morato from Revivo, PSG have open talks with Tottenham Hotspur star Harry Kane over a possible move in the summer. PSG have recently bid farewell to Lionel Messi, and with the looming possibility of losing Kylian Mbappe and Neymar, are keen on securing a world-class replacement. Unsurprisingly, Kane has swiftly emerged as a prime candidate for the Paris club. Now, this is really unconfirmed, Philip. This is just another bit of one of these putting it out there just to get loads of likes or shares on Twitter. Oh, it could be true. Now, we have heard, Philip, unofficially, where we did hear the other day that the French Football Federation were going to investigate PSG for what happened the other day. So, do you think, A, that PSG, this is true, or do you think it's just another person looking for likes and thing for for likes and more followers on Twitter?
Well, it could be that some journalists are saying, right, PSG, they're getting Messi's gone, Neymar's gone, Mbappe may be gone next season. Oh, do you know what I'll do? Who's a good replacement? Oh, Harry Kane. I'll write a story about Harry Kane.
Yeah.
The way it goes. That could be it. There might be something to it. There may not be something to it. Who knows? Time will tell. But if he is going to go to PSG, Daniel Levy, don't let him go for a penny less than 200 million. John, that's your price. That's your price.
Yeah. Andrew Gregory says, do you think PSG would notice if we sold them Charlie Kane? Yeah. No, I don't.
I think that's the other donkey in the team.
Imagine Kane among the parasites, I know. DJ said, I read this a few days ago about PSG, but I think they would. I think they want to test the water. I think so too. But look, I agree with you, Philip. 200 million, they can well afford it. Howard says Pochettino overachieved by reaching a Champions League final with Winks, Sissoko, Dele, and Lucas were part of a core 11 with no impact subs. Look, I know people are going to say I'm being very critical over Pochettino. Look, we had a great footballing under him, Philip, but do you feel Pochettino? We look back and then times with rose-tinted glasses instead of proper glasses and see how it really was.
Well, John, look at it this way. We haven't played football since he left.
No.
We haven't, really. We've had 4 seasons of mediocre fare since he's gone. So he had us playing football, regardless of whether we won anything. That 16-17 series, when we finished second, 17 wins out of 19 playing 2 draws. That's what I want to see back. I'll always give him credit for that. That was brilliant. We didn't quite win anything, but we got close. So I'll give him credit for that. And, he was unfortunate in a lot of things, really. That penalty in the Champions League final, for Christ's sake. That was no penalty.
Paul Shepherd says, Dermot, what was Poch supposed to do? He's a football manager who wasn't given the opportunity for a return he wanted. Look, I do agree with that. I do understand people's arguments on that side. But if he went to Man United, if he went to Newcastle, if he went to any other club, I wouldn't have minded so much. But because it's Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham, 3 clubs I hate. I don't even like Man United, but I sort of, I can bear them, but not much. But because he's gone there, that's the problem I have. He always said, I wouldn't go to Chelsea. I won't go to Arsenal. Like he said, he wouldn't manage Barcelona. But he's gone to one of our London rivals. Not one of our London rivals. One of our biggest London rivals. And for me, he won't last 6 months there, Philip.
I don't think he will either. I don't think any manager will last 6 months at Chelsea. No. I don't think the manager hasn't been born yet that'll put up with the crap that Bowley puts them through. So, I feel sorry for him if he does get sacked. But he should never have gone there in the first place. And I agree with you.
Yeah. Look, and Gary Beck says Harry's going nowhere. He's been tapping up Maddison. And that's another thing about the tapping up, Philip. Players do it unofficially. So it is going to, it does happen.
You rarely see that making the papers, though.
No, that's true. Now, I know we started on it, Philip, and just one of the last things I want to we talk about. Look, so we are going to talk more about this in the podcast we're going to do. I don't know if we're doing it tonight. I don't know if we are to. Haven't discussed
Probably
it
my
with Philip
voice
yet.
will hold up tonight, probably tomorrow. My voice
Yeah, so we're probably, but we will do that live. The podcast now are doing live. We may even do it Saturday if Philip's around.
It'll be Friday. I won't be around on Saturday.
Okay, it'll be a Friday night podcast.
Yeah.
So, look, should the FA ban transfers to Saudi Arabia? Now, Philip, look, the likes of Ronaldo's gone there. Sonny's been offered 30 million a year over a 4-year deal, which, that was reportedly the contract.
Yeah.
The MLS was throwing money at big players. India, I think, was it China or Japan or China with the J League back in the day? Gary Lineker was one of the first major European players to go out there. Then the MLS started doing it, getting all the big players. David Beckham went to the MLS. Messi's now gone to the MLS. So all big players. As Saudi Arabia trying to kick into that market where we're just going to give the players what they want? And if so, has football lost its soul?
Yeah. Basically, what's happening in the Saudi Arabian league to me would be the equivalent of maybe League Two, if they're that high, right? Yeah, your players coming in earning 10 times more than players playing in the Premiership. You've been only to pay in a pub league. The MLS is slightly different.
I've found this on the web for what's happening in the Saudi Arabian League to me by the problem Baby League 2. If there is that I write players coming in under 10 times more than players playing.
I think that was giving you more of a better answer than we were asking for.
Talking to me, but anyway, what was like the MLS have a salary cap. There's only so many players can earn over such an amount in the MLS, and the rest are on our.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen in Saudi Arabia. So you've got the likes of Ziyech from Chelsea, Koulibaly, Koulibaly from Chelsea, and numerous other players. Your man from Real Madrid, what do you call him? The French striker. Oh God, I just forget. Brain's gone dead there. All these players going to Saudi Arabia, earning a huge amount of money. It's only sports washing. They're going to play the equivalent of Accrington Stanley every week and getting 30 million a year for doing it. And N'Golo Kante's gone there. It's gone mad. It's gone mad. Gary Neville is rightly up in arms about it, but the FA have now stated they have no way that they're going to ban transfers to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Benzema's
gone there.
Benzema's gone. I mean, they're building up some very good players, but if you look at the age profile, they're mostly players near the end of the career. I know. I suppose they've offered Luka Modric a huge amount of money, but I don't think he's going. What I like to see is players like Sonny, who turned it down immediately and said he's got things to do in London. I love that answer. And it's a pity a few more players wouldn't, But the Saudi Arabian thing, I don't know where the end is. I told you last week, Dermot, what this public investment fund's budget is. 160 billion.
Yeah.
The mind boggles. They can buy what and who they like. And we should all be fearful of that.
Carl says, I agree what Philip Hostage said. We've got Colin says, you tolerate United because you have the best open-minded fan in your absolutely wonderful channel and chat that has the best presenter on it. Can have a pay rise. So you see what you started now? They're all asking for it now. God. I have to go and speak to my bank manager tomorrow. Howard turned around and said, sadly, yes, football has become soulless. I agree with that. And then Ellie says, Ben's so did Kate, so did DJ Green Alert. And then David Eve says, the transfers to Saudi ain't my problem. My problem is them being loaned back to clubs who they part owned by. For example, Neves could be loaned back to Newcastle, get round FFP. It's right. And look, we're going to go into this on the podcast. It is wrong. It is very, very wrong. And I think the FFP is run by people that it suits their own narratives. And Saudi is the players with no ambition who just want a huge payday. And Corey says it's the way the country, it's the way of a country to clang its money up for you, ask me. Well, look, Philip, I think we'll end it there, sir. Anything you want to say before we end off?
No, let's hope that by the time we hit the podcast tomorrow, that we have at least one player on the books that wasn't there at the moment in time. And also, Postecoglou, another 8 days before he takes over. And let's hope he's got the P45s written for certain players that we never want to see in a Tottenham shirt again.
Yeah. Ellie, I haven't agreed to your pay rise yet. If you do, I'll give you a 20-cent one. And no, it doesn't have any add-ons. You only get paid for how many shows you're on. There you go. The only one that hasn't asked for a pay rise is Mia. So there you go. We've got DJ, the Good Sabre team. Great show, Dominic. Philip, thank you for making us feel welcome, man. Look, we enjoy it. Andrew Gregory, thanks, guys. Excellent show as always. So, Philip, we're going to end it there. Look, we will be back if there is any breaking news.
We'll be back later.
Either be me or Philip, or me or Ellie, me and Mia, depends how Philip is. But we will be back with the latest breaking news. And whatever you do, please look after your donkeys. Because if you don't, your donkeys won't look after you. On that, that was quite good. On that bombshell, thank you very much. I tell you, there's one player I haven't said hello to yet. This is Philip on his way to the bingo last night. And Mrs. Brady watching him. Oh, dear.
You and the clocker old cock, I'll get you for that.
On that massive bombshell, goodbye.